Welcome everybody to the Chess Lab. Welcome to episode 29 of Road to 2500 Lichess Rapid Rating. Let's jump straight into it. Yesterday I played 4 games. I never played so many games in one video or in one day or in one episode, call it however you want it. It was a very good day. It ended negative when it comes to the rating, but I really felt like I've played very well. And I really feel like I'm improving overall, and that's very good. But yes, of course, it takes some time and some, mental strength to convert it in rating points. So, you first improve and, you first study, then you improve when it comes to your real strength. But this doesn't necessarily translate into the rating. Real strength comes before rating, and that's kind of what I've realized. For example, at the OTB tournament I played, the last one, I made 6 rating points, but I felt like my strength increased so much more than that. And it's of course annoying, very annoying. But it's better than decreasing in strength, okay. We have a game. I have my water here. We may or may not play against Mysterious Move at 2100, but it seems like they're disconnected, so I don't know if you're gonna get a game. Three seconds and the game was aborted, so no game. Okay, let's then keep going with the research. I usually don't play at this hour for some reason, but today I already started my daily dose of chess, let's say, and then I'm gonna go running later, so it's now a good time to play some chess, especially if I want to play 3, 4, maybe even more games like yesterday. And as you can see, there are 88,000 players in the server. Usually it's around 100k, and 37,000 games. It's usually around 45,000 or something. So, perhaps this search for an opponent is going to take a little bit more time. But yeah, there's not much else to do. We are here waiting. Today there are no major tournaments. There are no major events. So, I don't really have much else to do chess-wise. I, of course, could learn some more opening lines, but it's interesting because I thought about it quite a bit. Unless you are a professional, and when I say a professional, I mean somebody that can dedicate 100% of their time, effort, energy to chess. I think that studying too much chess every day is actually detrimental. Anyways, we have a game, d4 by our opponent. I play d5. Now we are going against Pandorium SPB, 2346. Let me make sure you see everything correctly. You do. Can I make this a little bit larger, perhaps? Okay. This is probably the strongest player I faced so far, if I'm not mistaken. I faced other 2300, but 2346 is really strong. On knight c3, I play knight f6, and the knight f3 is the main move. But obviously they can play many other things. So far from the white side, this is the move order that... okay, never mind. Now we go into e6. And bishop g5 will lead to a similar position as yesterday. The game I won against the 2260. And that will be the Moscow variation. Bishop g5, we take. They play e4. I supported with b5. They attack my knight, I attack their bishop, they go back. I play g5. I should have checked it perhaps, because in reality yesterday I ended up in quite of a slightly inferior position, but it was very difficult for my opponent to play. Yes, h6. Now bishop h4 is expected. I mean, if they take, I just take their bishop, so... And this is a very sharp line. Very, very sharp. But I'm happy to see that at this level that's what they go for mostly, which is nice, because this narrowed down my study requirements, if that makes sense. I think knight bd7 is the move I played, and here e takes f6, and yesterday I played bishop to b7. The problem is this doesn't really lead to... No, wait, I played queen b6, but I think I'm gonna play bishop b7 this time. I think bishop b7 is the main move. Now it feels like I'm kind of remembering it for some reasons. Because if they play g3, then c5 is stronger. That's kind of the rationale. If they play e takes f6, they may play something else. But if they don't play e takes f6, I may have rook g8. Maybe. I already don't really remember this line. I really have to study it. You know what? We may do something a little bit unusual. Once this game is over, we may go over Sam Shankland's course and study this line together, since it comes out so often at this level. Why not? It could be interesting. Okay, but they play g2, g3 immediately, which is interesting. So I can play bishop b7, they go bishop g2, I play queen b6, and we kind of... Oh, wait a second, though. After queen b6, I'm kind of forcing them to do something to resolve the situation here, because otherwise I just move the knight. Okay, so I'm gonna play queen b6. So that's why queen b6 is the move. Yeah, now they have to resolve the situation of the knight, because he's no longer pinned, and if they play bishop g2, you know, I would just run with my knight here. So basically this transposes to yesterday's game, which is extremely fascinating. And here, what was the move? I think I'm supposed to play bishop b7. Yesterday I played bishop b7, right? They play bishop g2, I castle. I think yes, I think this is what I'm doing. And here the evaluation is like +1 or something, which means that I misplayed it, because the evaluation should be around 0. And this is yesterday's game. But the point is, this variation is actually quite tricky to play for white, practically speaking. Because, like, for example, yes, castle is the move, but here I just play knight e5. And here they have to know that the best thing to do is to just take, and then again it's a +1 position, but they're down the queen, so it's tricky. And is this the move I played yesterday? What did they play after that? They played this, and then I played c5. Yes, let's go for this. I'm playing... this is yesterday's game. That's insane. Since I won it, I'm just going with it. And there is a person, Dima Lavochkin, which is watching. Perhaps we are on Lichess TV. I mean, my opponent is at 23-46. So if the, you know, in the rapid portion of the Lichess TV, this is probably the featured game, which, you know, it's kind of cool. Okay, my opponent plays exactly this move. This is so funny. This is so funny. And here, what's the move? I think the move is c5, right? And after c5, the best move is to take the knight, and they have a slight advantage. Is c5 what I played yesterday? I think it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go with c5. This is what I played yesterday. This is still theory for me. This is yesterday's game. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. This is just ridiculous. I mean, that's just... And they play the d takes c5, bishop takes c5, and And the variation was just very interesting. D takes e5 is the best move, if I'm not mistaken. Or perhaps bishop takes b7 first, and then d takes c5. But in any case, taking that knight is best. This guy is a 2346, and if he went for this line, he may have some experience in it. So he may realize it, and if he realizes, then we are in trouble. But okay, they take here, which is exactly what the other guy played. We're just gonna take back. I think I considered taking here, but no, it was wrong. I think this is what I played, and here, if they play bishop takes b7, okay, they do it like this, but now I'm all of a sudden okay. Dude, this is yesterday's game. What is going on? And the guy played queen e2 yesterday. I'm having a massive deja vu. What? What in the world? Dude, what? Dude, if he plays queen e2, it's just... But now is not better for white. Now I have that nice position. And I can improve. On queen e2, what was the move? I think rook d3. Rook d3 threatening knight f3. But they change. They play knight e4, and knight e4 maybe is better. I think knight e4 is better, yes. Maybe. Yeah, I feel like knight e4 is the better move, because I was thinking about the fact that if I take, they take with check, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna move the queen, and the best move was queen c6. Do you remember, guys, the analysis by the engine? The best move was queen c6. So this is still theory. This is crazy. This is insane. And they play queen e2 now! But queen e2 now is not as good, I think, because I have rook d3. But there is the knight on e4. There is the knight on e4. So, is rook d3 the main move anyways? It could be. Because I'm asking them the question, oh no, but rook d3 threatens knight f3 and then checkmate. So yeah, rook d3 is a tremendous move. I'm gonna play rook d3 here. I think it's still theory. Believe it or not, I think this is still theory. Any check, I just take with the queen defending the knight. Still theory, baby. Let's go. This is ridiculous, of course, but what I gotta say? Okay, so they go there, but this doesn't threaten this doesn't really threaten the pawn on f7, which, I mean, is defended by the knight, so of course it doesn't threaten it. But also, now it's time to maybe go into an endgame, perhaps, with knight f3. Knight f3, knight f3 is forced, queen takes f3, queen takes f3, rook takes f3, and I'm gonna take back one pawn, and I don't know, but then they may play rook a to d1 or something, and but after rook takes f6, I'm defending f7. This is actually quite funny now. And I can play rook c8. Is that endgame winning? I think it is winning. No? I mean, I think that's a winning endgame. Why not? a5, king b6. It feels like that's a winning endgame. I kind of want to try it, but I don't know. I don't know how much I trust. That. So of course the knight zenging. That's the first thing to kind of notice. All right. And that's the first thing to notice. So knight g5. Okay. Let's think. Let's think what to do. Knight f3. Knight f3, queen takes f3, queen takes f3, rook takes f3, rook a2 d1, rook c8, rook d7, rook c7, rook f2 d1, rook takes f6, and I'm gonna have a position now. a5's following. I mean, feels kind of okay. It's not the easiest position in the world. But I'm gonna go a5, takes, king c6. It feels good for me. But then they have a h4 and all these things going on. So let me think. Is there a way to play against this knight on g5? Can I attack the knight on g5 somehow? I'm trying to think about improving the position of my queen, improving the position of my knight, and stuff like this. Can I play like a crazy move like rook f3 or something? Rook f3, they just take on e5. And then I don't see what I'm doing exactly. Rook takes h2. I don't see it. Well, rook takes h2, king takes h2 is forced, but then what? There isn't even rook d2, you know. I could, of course, try rook d5, but I don't see it. I think knight f3 is the best shot I have. And wait a second, after knight f3, I can play rook takes f3. Nobody forces me to like trade queens. Yeah, that's true, and I just keep the attack going. And I must have the better position. I'm gonna take back on f6, I'm gonna play rook h6, and I must have a good position here. So let me go for it. Let me go for it here. Of course, I'm still gonna take my time now to decide whether or not I want to take with the rook or with the queen. But I think taking with the rook is just better. For example, rook a to d1. What do I do? Well, already after rook takes f6, I'm threatening rook takes h2, followed by rook h6 checkmate. So that's already like a winning threat. You know? And this just feels great. Rook takes f3, probably rook a to e1, let's say. Rook takes f6, queen e4, I think that has to be played. But after rook f to h6, queen takes h4 and stuff. I don't know, my king is active. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna ask some questions. Guys. I'm gonna ask the famous questions, nothing more than that. I think it's very important for them to take control over the diagonal. They have to trade queens. That's what I'm trying to say in a weird way. Sorry if I'm not the best English speaker in the world sometimes. Also, I'm very focused. So I'm down. Okay, it's important to count material here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pawns for my opponent, 5 pawns for me. I have a 3 against 1 on the queen side, which is quite good. He's also very far from their king and close to mine. And I'm threatening checkmate stuff, so that's kind of good. The rook on f6 is not particularly impressive, but. And I don't know, maybe it's a little bit out of the game. But it feels decent enough. I can also play after rook a to e1, rook takes f6, queen to e4. I can play queen d5. And if they take, now I have a massive center. I'm not gonna say what Hikaru says about that center, but you got the point. And yes, so this is a very critical position. It really feels like my opponent needs to find rook e1. I don't think it matters which rook goes there, but I think he really has to put a rook there. Yeah, but then I'm gonna go a5, b4. Roll my king up. Their pawns on the h file are going nowhere. And it feels like I have the upper hand, no? I can play also f5 f4 if they play h4. Yes, they have to play this. I agree with this. I agree with this. This is good move. And now what do I do? So now I can play rook d3, queen e4, rook d5, threatening again rook takes h2. And also rook d3, rook a to d1, there is rook h to d8. And after take I can take with the pawn, and it feels like that pawn is just so strong. So I think rook d3 is a very good move. Rook d3 is a very good move. Why would I go pawn hunting when I could go for massive activity? Because again, the theme will be I keep my pieces in place, active, and that's pretty much it, you know? So yeah, rook d3 looks very good. Queen e4, rook d5, rook a to d1, rook takes h2. Rook takes d5 perhaps. Okay, that may not work then, huh? So rook d3, queen e4, rook d5, rook a to d1, but I have rook h to d8 again, and after take I can take with the pawn, with the e-pawn, and then I have d passed pawn. This is huge. Of course I risk to get checkmated, but queen e7, rook d7. So I'm gonna go for it, guys, and this could be, of course, not so good perhaps for me, but I'm trying. I want to keep things alive, you know. If they play b3, I have rook d5, and on a takes c4, I have rook takes h2, threatening rook h1 if they take. Oh, rook h5 does. Oh, rook h5 doesn't work. Oh, rook h5 doesn't work. I just realized that rook h5 doesn't work if the queen stands on e2 because it's protected. That's a little bit annoying. But if they play queen e4, then it could be an issue. But then b3 may be very strong. Then b3 may be very strong. I may have underestimated it. I can always. Oh, they play this one first. Okay. Okay, so now b3 is a threat, maybe. Now b3 is a threat. What if I play rook d4? Rook d4 is such a savage move. Rook d4, you know why rook d4? Because if they play b3, then the pawn is guarded a little bit better. And you know what the threat of rook d4 is? Rook h4. And after g takes h4, rook g8, and they can just resign. And also rook d4 prevents queen e4. I'm gonna go with rook d4 here, guys. I'm just asking a lot of practical questions. Rook h4 is the threat. This is nasty. This is nasty stuff, guys. You don't mess with this stuff. This is just nasty. This is ugly, nasty stuff. b3, rook h4. Rook d to h4. Again, let's say it's my turn. I go here. They take. Check. This is checkmate. They go here, is checkmate. They interpose, I check, and then it's checkmate. Well, it wouldn't be checkmate, but they're down a full. Yeah, they go b3. Did they miss rook h4? I think they did. So rook h4, g takes h4, rook g8, king f1, queen g2 checkmate. I think I'm going for it. This is the nasty stuff. This is the nasty stuff. If I beat a 2300 like this, I mean, this is the nasty. This is indeed the nasty, you know. There is a crazy line after rook takes h2, queen e4, rook h1, king g2, queen takes e4, rook takes e4, rook takes c1. In the end, I'm up a rook. Defending c4 too. This is just ridiculous. That's a strong move. This is a strong move. Sorry guys if my commentary is not as great, but as you can see when I play against these guys, I really focus a lot. I really focus a lot. And maybe that's the reason why against the 2100s I perform badly. Maybe I just don't focus against them, but I think this type of positions suit me well, surprisingly. But it's not that they suit me well, it's just, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's just, for black it's easier to play, I guess. Because the problem is after b takes c4, rook takes h2, they have no... I'm threatening checkmate in like a thousand languages and a half. So, and again, queen e4 is not playable. Yeah, they missed rook h3. Okay, they played this move, but now, now this is tough. Now this is tough, man. So now I can play rook takes h2. I can play rook takes h2. I can play queen takes h2, right? So rook takes h2, queen takes h2. Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute, because I have some more nasty moves here for my opponent. I have queen b6 check. I have queen b6 check. Queen b6 check that gets out of any problems. Queen f2, queen takes, king takes, rook takes, that's not good for them. And on queen b6, queen e3, I think rook takes h2 is very good. And after queen takes b7, I just take here, and I just have. I feel like I'm not murdering them, you know. I can play rook takes f4. So rook takes f4, right? Rook takes f4, g takes f4, rook g8. Where do they go? If they go on f2, rook g2, king e3, check takes, this is good. Rook takes, pawn takes, check, king there, check, here, check. I mean, that's nasty for sure, but I'm not sure that I'm winning. Because rook takes f4, g takes f4, rook g8, king to f1. Okay, there is queen h1, king f2, and then wait a second, takes, check here, check. They have to move up where? Well, here or here, this is check. If they go here, there is this, so they have to move up, let's say, but I'm sure they're getting mated there. But I'm not sure. That's the problem. So rook takes f4 or rook takes h2? Rook takes h2, queen takes, rook takes, king here. There is queen. I don't know. I don't know what there is. Queen b6 is a move. Rook takes h2, queen takes h2, queen b6 is also a move. A very good one too. A very good one too. Rook takes h2, queen takes h2, queen b6 now. On queen f2, there is rook h1. And after king takes h1, queen takes f2, the thing is they're all queen side's open. So rook takes h2, queen takes h2, queen b6 looks very good. You know, I'm gonna go for it, which was my first instinct too. I should have played it perhaps immediately. I should have played it perhaps immediately. Queen takes, and now check. They go here. Check. They go here. Check. I think I may be insane. But because this is a better version. That's the thing. This is a better version, I think. Queen f2, rook h1, king g2, rook h2. Yeah, this feels like it's all a better version. Oh, I have c3 at the end of the line. Maybe, in certain positions. I may be able to keep my pawn on c4 here. Yeah, that's a nasty idea. Again, sorry guys if I don't even know what I said during the analysis. I may have just gone insane. But yeah. I'm just trying to make sense of what's going on. Okay, this, but now I have this. And I don't know, I feel like this version is better for me because in the end I'm touching the rook. Like for example, after take I can take, they cannot take back. You know, and their king is exposed. This is quite a difference. Okay. Now I just take here, right? And I have a passed pawn. I think this is winning. I just have to be careful not to blunder my queen. This loses now. That's a big difference, guys, with previous variations. This is important. This guy stays alive. This guy stays alive, and I'm taking all of their pawns if they are not careful. The fact that their king is so exposed is so huge. I can always play queen takes h2, which defends everything. If they go here, which may be the most critical... No, but then again, I just take here. And I'm just gonna play this move here, this and something. Yeah, I have to be careful not to blunder this, but... yeah, should be fine. This is probably the most critical. After which I'll have to think. Which is not too easy. But I can play c3. I guess if my pawn reaches this is probably good. But I really want to take here as well. I'm probably gonna take here. And then there is this. And then I guess I'm gonna go here. Check, I move. I should be somewhat fine. It's tricky, of course. Oh no, I'm gonna go back to f2 so I defend a7. Yeah, it's fine. Very tricky. Very tricky. I wonder if b takes c4 was the best move. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it is. This is huge, guys. This is huge. I have to be better here. There's no way, right? They play a3. But now this makes no sense to me. I can just take this, and once again, if they take, they lose. But now their king is more exposed. This cannot be correct. This cannot possibly be correct, guys. I'm extremely tense because this is of course huge. And taking this pawn was important because now their king is exposed. So if anything, here I have a draw. If anything. And if they go here, there is checkmate in 1. Maybe they were relying on this. I just noticed that there is the checkmate in 1. My plan was just to take the pawn initially, but now I realize. Because here, everything kind of loses. Okay, they played this. Now, of course, I can check and then take, you know. So I can check, they go here, I check, they have to go here, I take, they take, I check, they go here, check, here, check, and I'm probably winning that pawn, am I? If they go here or here, I take with check, you know. So they have to go back. It's all okay. So I take, they take. Oh, and I just. This has to be good, right? I'm very tense. If they take here, it feels to me that this just wins. So now I'm up one more pawn. Again, the fact that their king is exposed is important. I just have to not blunder my queen and I should be kind of okay. Which is not a given that I don't blunder my queen, but I should be able not to. Very tense position. Okay, they go here. Now I can check. Or I can take here. I'm gonna check them once. Okay. Now I think it's okay for me to push. And now, if they take, I take. And if they go here, I have this check. So they can't separate the rooks. They can't separate the rooks. And I'm ready to take this, defending the pawn. And then I have two connected passed pawns, and this feels okay. This really feels okay. Sorry guys if I'm not commentating very well, but I'm tense. So I have check. So this rook is now... So I can go here, right? Okay, this is tricky. So there is check. If they go here, I win their rook. Are there other checks? They're gonna go here, check. I'm gonna check them. I'm gonna check them a bunch. Sorry guys if I'm not necessarily even calculating correctly, but I'm just trying to make some sense here. Okay. check. Okay, check. I go here, they go here, I check them here, and then I check them here. Right? I go here. So I push here, check, I have to go here. Yes, should be fine. This should be fine. If they go here, I have check. They move here or here, check, and I pick up this guy. So they have to check here, but I have king h6. This is of course tense. I have to be very careful. I can of course check them a little bit forever, but eventually the checks need to stop, you know, and come to some sort of a conclusion. The pawn made it to c2. I don't know if this is... I mean, this is winning even without the pawn. I just have to take here and these two guys will roll. But of course, you know, having that such an advanced pawn kind of keep them forced and tied up to the defense, which is important. And here we go. Check. And this should be it. This should be it, ladies and gentlemen. I think we win this. I think this is just winning. Let's go! Let's go! Let's go! This is so huge. Let's go! Sorry, guys. We defeat the 2346 smooth like butter. Let's go! Oh, this is so good. Oh, this was such a good game. This was such a good game. And now you see the engine. Now you see the engine. Now you see the engine making fun of me for the next 10 minutes. But still, here we are. Here we are, guys. Here we are. As you can see, practical play in this variation is really in Black's favor, it seems. 3 inaccuracies, 1 mistake. Not the cleanest game, but again, practically very good. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. And yes, white is slightly better here. I don't know what's the right line here is. I don't know. 95, the same. Bro, this is the same line as yesterday, and d takes c5 is an inaccuracy, but they just played. We saw a 2260 play this, and also a 2346. This is how hard these variations is. And here I knew it was equal. That's the great part. And queen c6 is correct, and rook d3 is correct, and knight f3 is correct, and here I should have played queen takes e3. Rook takes f3, this endgame is good for them, and here rook f2 d1. Whoa, what? Really? Well, that's surprising. I thought that after this move they were in trouble, but I guess I'm just crazy. Rook d4. Ah, rook d4, very smart move. Of course I'm gonna lag now, but the point is that after this, and this, the rook goes into the defense. Let me turn off the engine. The problem is that when I turn on the engine, the computer just can't take it. But basically the point is rook d4, which is a very clutch move. I think it's perhaps only move or something. And the point is that after this, among perhaps other things, I don't know, there is this, and this, if they go back, there is checkmate, but they have this move. That's the point of rook d4, right? To swing over h4, and they defend everything. So because of these reasons, rook f2 d1, which is more active, was fine, but rook f2 e1 equalizes, and now rook d3 is not that good. Better was rook takes f6 indeed, and then queen d2, and the game continues. But they played rook d3, which again is practically annoying, and here rook d4, and here b3 is wrong. Better was a4, and then b4, and things get complicated. Not that they aren't already. And b3 again is a mistake because of rook d to h4. Very practical shot, and here rook takes h2, queen here, and here queen b6 is wrong. Better was this, and then perhaps queen f3. What's the idea? Oh no, just c3. But this is equal. This is crazy. This is equal. And after queen b6, queen f2, rook h1, b takes. B takes also is not accurate. Better was b4. But see, this is like the difference between human play and computer. It's like, how can you play these positions? It's funny because this move rook g1 is what I thought was best for my opponent. But he blundered with a3, and again, this guy is at 2346. Now, just to be clear, the very famous 2100s that I faced in that infamous video, morphing into Kramnik, they would have all found rook g1, and you know this is true. And listen, I don't know what to tell you. So b takes c4, a3 was played by my opponent, which is a blunder. After queen takes g3, this is just winning, and after f5 is just over. Check. I admit I played it well, because here, for example, if you take, there is check, right? And if they had went, let's say, here, I calculated that they were also losing somehow. I don't necessarily know how, but I calculated that. I calculated that this wasn't good for them for some reasons. Maybe I've just gone insane. Oh yes, I calculated this, and here this is a double attack, so they have to go here, but then I have this. I calculated this from the distance. So, you know, that's the reason why, after this, I don't take immediately the pawn, but I first give this check, because no matter what they do, they go to a place where now this pawn is untouchable. So I keep winning their pawns, they don't win mine, and this is just over. Even here, blocking is losing. You can never disconnect the rooks if your king is exposed, and this is why in this position... Sorry, now I'm getting there. This is why in this position rook g1 is so important, is because white needs to defend this pawn, and the reason is not because this pawn is more or less valuable than this pawn, it's just that this pawn here keeps this king safer. And so there are lines where this rook can actually capture because this guy has no checks, or at least limited checks. And instead, after a3, the king is exposed and all of these tactics are possible, and now it's just over. And I kept my calm, and here I just played queen h5. They resigned because no matter where they go, there's going to be this check, and then I pick up this guy. So for example, I don't know, this check everywhere. I pick this guy up, and the two rooks again are not connected. As soon as you disconnect the rooks, is over. And so after queen h5, they resigned. And I just defeated the strongest opponent that I defeated so far at 2346. Let me check. I'm a little bit tense, guys. I'm sorry, but let me see the rapid thing. I know you cannot see perfectly the screen, but let me see. 2272. Okay, this is the highest. Yeah, this guy here today is the highest opponent that I defeated. 2346. Wow. With the black pieces. With the black pieces, guys. This is insane. The black pieces. This is so great. 2346. Why is he rated 1600 in this? What? Hold up, what? Wait a minute, guys. This is weird. Wait, what? Dude, what? So he plays Blitz and he's rated 1687. He plays Rapid and he's rated 2300. Listen, I think I should stop asking questions when it comes to understanding Lichess players. I think that's just what I should do. I guess I should just resign to the fact that This website's crazy. So I'm gonna close just for a second this screen here. You guys don't worry. I'm not running away. I'm not running away. I have to take off this because. And I'm gonna open the window. The screen is gonna come back in a second, guys. Don't worry. Okay. Sorry, guys, but I am like, I just crashed this guy. Let me also tie my hair a little bit because. Okay, I am too, like, my mind is too disordered, so I need an external order to compensate, if that makes sense. Let me take a drink. We defeated the 2346. Yes, he's rated 1600 in Blitz, which is something that I can't wrap my head around. But okay, we take it. So let's go. I'm gonna come back in a second, guys, with the screen. Don't worry. Here we are. So let me do this. Perfect. So this is, as you can see, my chessable Shankland Semislav. This is the course I'm studying. I know you cannot see the screen fully, but until it's strictly necessary, I'm not gonna do it. And as you can see here, there is the Botvinnik system down here, which is the alternative. Right, you have the Cambridge Springs over here. There are like 4 chapters, as you can see, but there is this Botvinnik system thing, and yeah, I don't have the full paid version of this course, but doesn't really matter much. And let's see. Sorry guys, a second. Knight takes g5, here we go. Let me click on this line just to see what are they suggesting. Okay, so knight b to d7. Okay, this is the time where I should put my camera small here, and this title small here and down here. Okay, so now you can see everything clearly, and let's go over this. And technically this is copyrighted material, but the reality is I'm just advertising Shankland's course. So, showing one line is not showing the course. And as you can see, the ideas and the setups given in this course can be very effective. So I think these videos are just extremely good advertisement, if anything. So I'm sure that not Shankland or Chessable is against what I'm doing here. And if they are, listen, let's pirate. So bishop g5, right? And he says that when I first wrote the Semislav course, I had no idea how successful it would become. As a way of expressing my gratitude, I've decided to include an update on the Botvinnik variation. Yes, not only I'm showing this, but also this is an alternative. So my original and main recommendation is knight b to d7 in this position, reaching the Cambridge Springs and denying white the kind of wild position he is likely seeking when he chooses to place his bishop on g5. But this is not always the most satisfying way to play, and it's nice to have an additional option to enter the chaos. And as you can see, chaos truly is. And perhaps, maybe I'm being a little bit narcissistic here, but maybe my explanation while I play makes the position looks a little bit more normal and calm. But trust me, if you try to play this line, is chaos. It's truly chaos. I'm not sure I'm making it seem simpler, by the way. It's just my narcissistic hypothesis. So here we take the pawn, right? Black grabs the c4 pawn and is ready to hang on to it with b7, b5 next, thanks to advancing c7, c6 on the previous move. If white does not do something really direct, he will just remain a pawn down, so he is forced to enter the chaos. And again, he reminds that knight b d7 would be the Cambridge Springs. So this is also a nice repertoire because like this is a big mainline bishop g5, right? And oh no, this is actually called the Botvinnik. That's why I was calling it the Botvinnik yesterday. So I'm not going completely insane, maybe just a little bit. But this is a big main line, and so the fact that this course offers you two big options, and one, again, enters very sharp, calculative, direct lines, which is this, the d takes c4, and knight bd7 is a calmer approach, and perhaps depending on which opponent you are playing, you can kind of switch. So again, this is just a great course. I'm happy to have it as, again, as I told you yesterday, I'm going to repeat it today, not only the repertoire I have for this road to 2500, but this is actually my main repertoire over the board. I decided to switch over from the Ganguly's course because it feels like this is a little bit more, opening preparation at like even master level, but not like 2700 level. It feels like Ganguly prepares you if you're a 2700 player, which is great, but I'm not. And I'm not even close, and I'm not even close to being closed. I'm different order of magnitude below that, not just one or two, multiple. So it's fine for me to have this repertoire, which serves masters and perhaps even grandmasters. So I'm not saying that this repertoire is simple, quite the opposite. It's just the Ganguly's one is just crazy. So okay, d takes c4. I can keep it as a second one, why not, one day. But okay, d takes e4, right? This is the most critical move by far. He shows, there are this is not the first line of this chapter. There are many other options before, and he covers them, so you will be covered. b5, now white really should go for e4, e5, forcing a huge mess. If black is allowed to break the pin and complete development, he should remain a pawn up. Yeah, there are some times where white doesn't immediately challenges your knight, which is pinned, and in that case you're just doing great, and he shows everything. But e5 is the most critical, and this is what they have been playing yesterday and even today. This is surely the most critical move. It shows, for example, that bishop e2, this is among the different lines. Bishop e7, black's position plays itself. He should easily complete his development and preserve his extra pawn. Yeah, because once they don't have e5, here on e5 you can just play knight d5 or something, right? So that's not critical. So, I want to make sure that you guys are following. You may hear some noise, but it's because the window's open. So they play bishop g5. We take one pawn, so we are a pawn up. They play e4, threatening to play e5 to win our pinned knight, and also threatening to win the c4 pawn. We hold on to the pawn. They play this, and now the only way to not lose material is to play h6. Now they show, of course, aside from bishop h4, there is also bishop takes f6. I would be very surprised to see anyone play this. G takes f6, black looks better to me. He's still a pawn up, can easily fianchetto both bishops, and I don't see any real hope for counterplay. So here you have it. But again, as you can see in all of the lines that reach these positions, the opponents never took. It's just 2 games, I know, but they never even considered taking, and they never even spend much time on this position here. They just immediately went back h4. So this is by far, bishop h4 the main move. And here again, you must follow the variation in a flow, not just the sublines after sublines. Here again, there is this pin. They're threatening to win the knight, right? So g5, knight takes. And so they just sacrificed a piece for 2 pawns, but we are going to lose a piece back. This is black's major juncture in the Botvinnik, with knight b8 to d7 being the main move. I can't draw arrows here, unfortunately, but basically this knight goes to d7. But bishop f8, e7 being reasonable as well. I choose the latter the last time I faced bishop g5 and won a nice game against Melkumian, but I'm not totally convinced by those positions, and ultimately decided to stick with the main line. So Shanklands is recommending knight b to d7, knowing that bishop 7 is fine, but doesn't convince him too much. Okay, now the next several moves nearly always follow the same path, and this is very interesting. So here there is e takes f6, but my opponent played g3. White can play this move over as well, but for our purposes it does not change anything. Bishop b7, bishop g2, queen b6, white has to take on f6, transposing to the main line. So I'm very happy to notice that both of these games probably transpose to the main line. Technically here bishop b7 is best, and here I want to see what happened on... I want to see what happened on g3. Because I wanna transpose to that line, but bishop e2, if white is hell bent on avoiding the main line, I suppose he could play this move, and here knight takes f6. Oh, we can actually take it now. Okay, but let me see this in chapter. Hopefully we are not lagging too much. Yes, g3. Finally, here we have it. This is the main line, guys. This is the main line. Yeah, but the problem is queen b6, all these transposes. Bishop g2, long castle. Yeah, but this can't really transpose, can it? Let me see. Because this is just tricky. Okay, let me browse the tree. Let me browse the tree. We have to browse tree now. Because, yeah, if they played it like that, because if they play g3 immediately, then c5 is different. So let's flip this. d4, d5, c4, c6. Can you see everything? Yes. Knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, e6, bishop g5, d takes c4. As you can see, if I go one move back, there are the two alternatives. And don't get, you may say, oh, I'm going to study d takes c4, which is this, because it's just 58 lines. Yeah, but if you look at which type of lines they are, they're quite complicated, some of them. So you may want to prefer knight b to d7. And I think I'm going to keep as main repertoire knight b to d7, actually. It's just that, maybe not though, because these lines are really cool, but I'll see. But okay, d takes c4, now e4, b5, this, knight b d7, yes, and here e takes f6. There is no g3 though. I want to see g3, bishop b7, bishop b2, queen b6, and he says this transposes to the main line. But how does this transposes to the main line? This doesn't transposes to the main line, huh? So that's a little bit tricky. That's a little bit tricky. Let me just for a second close this, and let me go back to that line that he's talking about. Where is it? Sanklan Semislav, here it is, and Botvinnik system. Let me reopen this. Okay. And let's go to the line we were looking at, which is this one here. Is not this one, is the one after. Yeah, so he says after knight b to d7, g3, white can play this move order as well, but for our purposes it does not change anything. Bishop b7, bishop g2, queen b6. White has to take on f6 here, transposing to the main line. But, I mean, if they take e takes f6 and we long castle, they don't have the typical d5. Let me see what he means by this. Transposing to the main line? What do you mean? I'm a little bit curious. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Unexpected error. Okay, so we found a little bit of a hole into Sam course. That's funny. But g3 is something that they play. But okay, here you have bishop b7, bishop g2, queen b6, and you kind of have still the typical ideas. We're gonna long castle and try to break somehow. But yeah, this is definitely a point. But let's look at this line, for example. Bishop b7, g3. Oh, here we go c5, though. c5. d5, queen b6. Bishop g2, castle. Yes, but here there is already castle inserted, you know. Unless they play d5 in the main line. Let me see. No, but the problem is they start on knight a4. So if they take, you play bishop b2, they play g3, you play c5 here. We play c5 here. So you can't really transpose, but maybe I'm missing something. Wait a second. Let me give Lee chess here. Lee chess. You should be able to see everything. I know this is not me playing games, but you know, this is the road to 2500. Sometimes we also do that. Let's flip it. c4, c6. It doesn't really matter what they play on the very first knight move. Then they will do something like this. Bishop g5, take, e4, this. And here they can play g3 immediately. You play bishop b7, you play bishop b2, you play this. They have to take, and here he says we transposes to the main line. But the problem is they play d5 in the so-called main line. I mean, we play c5 and they play d5. Also, maybe here is c5. Wait a second. Maybe here is c5. Sorry, now the engine is gonna... Maybe here is c5. What if we castle? They castle. Oh, and now c5. Okay. Oh, so here is not knight d5, here is c5. Now is c5. I don't have to play knight d5. So this is where my improvement comes. Let me check now in the browse 3 option. In the browse 3 option, let me check if this is true, because it's probably my mistake, is not Sam's mistake. Really? Is my mistake and not the 2700 Grandmaster mistake? Crazy. So let's see. So we have the 3. Let me make this full screen. I think you guys will enjoy it more. Let me flip this. Okay, so we have d4, d5, c4, c6. Again, it doesn't really matter. It will transpose. I like to start with knight c3, but it doesn't matter a bit for the purpose of this variation. For the purpose of other variations, it matters, but not this. Take, e4, b5, e4, here, and here again we have g3. So e takes f6 would be the main line, but let's look at g3. Bishop b7, bishop g2. Now we play queen b6. They have to take, castle, and here c5 should transpose, but it doesn't. If they play d5, does it transpose? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Interesting. Very interesting. So let me check on Lee chess if in this position d5 is the main move, and it is. It is. D takes c5 is also an alternative. And here, what do we play? Sorry, guys. If d takes c5... It's probably covered as perhaps a clickable in one of the variations, meaning not a variation that you can train with the trainable, but you just see the variation in blue, you know, on Chessable. And here, what's the move? Knight takes c5. Yeah, knight takes c5, and this is just fine. This is just fine, as you can see, is very drawish. Let's look on Lee chess if this is a thing. It's a thing, yeah. Queen e2. And we saw those type of positions, and they're kind of okay for black. Again, practically speaking, very tough for white. But you may say, okay, I don't like that objectively. This is plus 0.3, 0.4. I don't feel comfortable. And look at this, you can play the Cambridge Springs. And you just have a much calmer position, where Magnus Carlsen has placed the Cambridge Spring, so he's not stupid. The Cambridge Spring would be, just to be clear, I don't want to confuse you guys. The Cambridge Spring would be after this bishop g5, taking is the Moscow, or the Botvinnik, I don't know how you want to call it at this point, with this crazy, e4, b5, and this whole thing that we just saw. But you can play knight b to d7 with the idea queen a5 and putting pressure here, which would be the Cambridge Springs. e3, queen a5, I think is gonna... Yeah, now it gives the name. And Carlsen has played this among others. Well, this is Lee Chess, if we go to the Masters. Yeah, Carlsen, Giri, Gelfand. Well, this is always Carlsen with the black pieces and Mamedyarov, Carlsen, Garry Kasparov, Shirov. So, you look at this and you're like, oh, this is a calm line. But, Kasparov and Shirov have played this. So we're not talking about exactly very calm players. So, okay, but then the improvement for me would be c5. Great. So we also have an improvement. And what do I want to do? Do I want to play again today or not? Do I want to play again or not? Let me first... Okay, for a moment I was confused why everything disappeared, but then I managed to come back to reason. It has been 1 hour and 12. Let's play one more game. I start to be tired, but let's force ourselves to play one more game. Let's play even once we are tired. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's raise the bar. Let's raise the threshold. Did I close everything outside of this website? Yes. Okay, just to be clear that, the computer is not starting to lag like crazy. I'm gonna close the window simply because I don't want you guys to hear too much noise when I'm in the game. And then we start the next game. Okay. So now we are rated what? 23, I was 45 plus I think 12, 57, almost 2360. Sorry, 2260, I wish 2360. But we just defeated the 2345 as you can see. And yesterday we almost defeated the 2300 something. No, we actually, we defeated the 2260, we almost defeated the 2300 something in the Reti, but then I misplayed it when I was plus 5. Good me. And very, very exciting stuff. And now we have to wait that this game starts. That was a very great game by me. I'm sorry, guys, if I'm saying this. It's not nice to hear this when someone say things like this, but I'm very happy of that game. And this is the journey to 2500. What's the saying? The good, the bad, and the ugly. Is all of it. So waiting for a game. There are more players now and also more games, but it takes a while for the rapid pairings to materialize, especially at this slightly higher rating. There are just a couple of thousand players that have my rating or more, so I think. Okay, we have e4, 2290, Tan Popo 369. The guy disconnected exactly now, which... Okay, let's go. Knight f3. I don't want to win with those ways. And here we have knight to f6. This will be the Nimzowitsch. As you can see, this is the first repertoire you see. At the top, 100 repertoires Nimzowitsch Sicilian. Let me now close it. And here e5. We jump with the knight on d5. And we see what they want to do. So knight to c3. This is usual. I think we play this move here. This is typical. Knight takes, pawn takes, d4 will be the main move, And d4 immediately. Okay, on d4 immediately, what do we do? I think I don't remember what to do on d4 immediately. There is a chance I take and play d6 or play d6 immediately. I don't remember what to do. This is not an Alapin transposition, so I'm not sure. If I take, they take, I take, they take. Are we transposing to some? No, I'm not. I want them to take. But at the same time, they're threatening to take. Oh yeah, we can just transpose. So knight c6 is the move, perhaps. Knight c6, d takes c5, bishop takes c5, knight takes d5, pawn takes d5, queen takes d5, d6, e takes d6, queen b6. Yeah, we transpose. So knight c6 has to be the move. Yeah, we just transpose. So my goal now is to transpose to a familiar line. If d takes c5, bishop takes c5, knight takes d5, pawn takes d5. Let me do it with the arrows for you guys. D takes, bishop takes, knight takes, pawn take. Okay, they take like this, but this doesn't change anything. Okay, they play c3. And here I think I take and play d6, and we transpose to those lines where I kind of want to check, but you don't do it immediately for some reasons. Let's go for this. Yes, and now d6. I think we are back to some known lines that we already played. They play... What? Dude, this is a blunder. A 20-90, and he resigned. Dude! A 20-19 fall for it. I'm happy, of course, because thank you for the free elo. But what the... Dude. Solon, you see, Solon said it, that people fall for these things. But see, my opponent made two blunders. The first blunder was bishop b5. The second was to resign, because you want to resign only after queen a5 check. What if I miss it? What if I miss it? You know? Yeah, this is a blunder, you know, guys, because of queen a5 check. Just to be clear, this is just a fork. I didn't play it instantly because I was shocked. I'm like, what? How can a 20-90, guys? 20-90 from Japan. And he's really a 20-90 because if you look at the bullet and the blitz, okay, 2069 in blitz and 20-80 in rapid is actually possible because I was there in the past. Now I'm kind of better at the blitz myself, but back in the days I used to be 2000 and 2200 in rapid. So yeah, in bullet I always sucked, but this is just personal thing. Well, 12 free elo. So we just defeated a 23-45 and a 22-90, both with the black pieces. This is so hugely monumental. And now what's my rating? 2270. Now we are back at 2270. This is huge. Yeah, let's play one more game. This wasn't the game, guys. I'm sorry, but this wasn't a game. This is just... I mean, this is... Yeah. Let's go. And we are playing against a 2381. What is going on? And he plays f4. No, this is terrible. No. I'll have to think what to do here. What do I do on this one? Okay, against f4, I actually use the Ganguly scores. But I don't know what the Ganguly course says about this. I don't know, dude. I'm just gonna play knight f6. I don't know what the move is. I mean, I studied f4 from the white side, and I think the main thing to do is something like this. But yeah. So here I'm gonna try to get this setup. I think I'm gonna play c5. I think Ganguly suggests something like this. And then I'm going to play d5 too. And I'm just going to have some sort of a center, kinda, against my opponent. I think my opponent is using Course, even though it's not 100%, but yeah, this is Raven's course. Yeah. And here I think bishop d7 and queen takes d7 is the main move. Don't ask me why. If he plays it very fast, he's definitely using Raven's course. Yeah, and queen takes d7 is the main move. And this is okay, either now or later. But I just move. I can't remember where, and then I just challenge it with knight c6, I guess. Yeah. And this is just a game. And I'm gonna play e6, I'm gonna develop my bishop, and I'm basically gonna equalize. It's not too, rocket scientish. Yeah, queen e2 is a move. So if I play e6, there is knight e5, I go back, there is already this check, which is nasty. So maybe I want to play a6, but maybe I just want to play knight to c6, which kind of plays against knight e5. Plays it anyways. Okay. And here what I want to do. What if I take? They take. And then? Well, I can play knight g4. This looks interesting, to say the least. Trying to take this guy. d4, takes. Okay. I can play knight takes, pawn takes, knight e4, d3, and then I have knight g5, and then they have e4, and then I have knight e6, and then what the heck is going on? I think it's okay. Takes here, takes. I can always play g6. This is a little bit tricky. So I play queen d6, let's say. If they play d4, I take it. And they have to kind of take, but this is fine for me, I think. If they play queen b5, I play knight d7. Oh, but then they take on b7. So queen c7, perhaps. But queen c7, queen b5, knight to d8. Sorry, knight to d7 defends c5 as well. They take, I take, they take. I have e5 and stuff. This is tricky. So queen c7, queen b5. Well, I can play e6 first to defend that pawn, and then I can go for knight d7, and I just have a position where they have the wrong bishop or something. So let me try to go for it, and let me just try to go for it. Very aggressive by my opponent, but again, this I think it's a course, so you shouldn't be too surprised about that. Courses, man. Which is exactly the way I study too, because it works. So we have the 2381 playing the bird. I may have said the Dutch, but no, it's the bird. I misspoke in that case. Yeah, queen b5 is a move. I may play a6 on queen b5 and just simplify. And then play like e6, even c4 and stuff. Okay, so now they're giving up a pawn. But not really. See? Take, check. And I'm not really achieving much. But if I play a6, I kind of force them to take. And then I'm kind of happy. So I'm going to play a6. Very calm move. A very calm move, this a6 stuff. But now I'm threatening take, 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 and then queen b5 is not a problem, so I'm just up a pawn. They take, I take with the queen. I take with the queen to keep my structure intact. There is no light square bishop. I'm controlling e4 quite well. From the opening, I'm not complaining too much. Yes, they want to go e4. That's fine. They still can't do that. Now e6, knight f3. I think I push. Take, take. I have a target here. Yeah, I think this is fine. Also, I just want to develop and castle if allowed. That would be really nice. That really would be nice. They go to d2, correct. Now, are they threatening to push? They are. They are. Am I concerned about it? I mean, a little bit. A little bit. I can play bishop d6. They push. I take, they take, I play e5. No. But then they play knight c4. And I'm in monumental trouble. Oh, but then I can take this. And what is going on exactly in the world? I have no idea. I have no idea what is going on then. So bishop d6, e4. I guess I can play e5 immediately. Blowing up the center. With my king in the center may not be exactly the right choice. E takes d5, queen takes d5, pawn takes, queen takes, bishop takes, rook e1, I can resign. Yeah, that's not perhaps very good. What if I play bishop e7, they play e4, I take, they take, I castle, they push again, I get some light squares perhaps. I'm just gonna hope for the best, which is already not a good sign, but I don't have major weaknesses, so I'm kind of okay, perhaps. But yeah, this is you know, this is kind of the bird. Yeah, I was expecting that move. It's a very good move. It's a very good move. And yeah, I'm just gonna castle. I'm just not gonna waste too much time. And I guess I'm gonna try to play some counterplay over to the queen side. I'm gonna try to get b5, c4 in. And if I can get that, I think I'm kind of okay. Not sure. I'm just gonna go for it. a4. Now what happens if c4 takes, 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 takes. I can do it probably. But I want to prepare it somehow. How do I prepare it? So c4 takes. Oh, take here first. Maybe. That's an intermediate move. And then I have this. I mean, this is weird. I kind of want to play rook a to b1 somehow. Take, take. What if c4 themselves? Yeah, I play rook a to b1 here. Rook a to b1, bishop e5, rook b7. Looks a little bit weird, but may just work. Knight d7 to follow, bishop f6 to reroute. I kind of want to go for it. Let's go. unusual lines for sure. For sure. I have my dose of counterplay. I have my dose of counterplay. I'm not sure that... Yeah, that's also a good move. That's also a good move. I mean, I'm not even calculating, which perhaps I should. I'm just gonna go with c4 here. I'm just gonna go for it. The point will be that once they take this time, there is the bishop hanging, and if they want to win a tempo, I'm winning a tempo. That would be the idea. And even if they take, now they don't trade here, so I'm kind of okay. I'm threatening c3, like g5, c3, pawn takes, pawn takes, pawn takes. They win the race, so I cannot play c3. But after, wait a second, after g5, c3, take, I just take with the bishop. Oh, there is that move. Okay. Okay, so c4 was actually good, perhaps. We are playing against a bunch of strong players, but as you can see, when I play against these strong players, my performance is not too terrible. It's not too terrible. And that's great. I'm finding my counterplay. I think that in this structure here, from the white side, I'm just flipping it for a second. I think you are not supposed to allow c4. I think. Because this is just too problematic. I think perhaps white misplayed it a little bit. Well, they take like this, so I take like this. They were attacking my queen, not much I can do about it. So yeah. On rook a7, I'm not sure, but I guess this is good. Okay, they played this, which is a very logical move because it goes away from the fork. It also goes away from... It has a threat, but now I play rook b7. And now I achieve two things. First of all, I'm stopping this. And also after g5, knight d7 kind of comes with tempo. You know? And in the end of the day, I still have some threats. And if they push, okay, now there may be some checks and stuff, so it's still a tricky situation. But definitely my opponent is not doing too badly now with the bishop on e5. But also f6 comes with tempo too. It's very double-edged position. A very double-edged. Knight d7 could be my next move. But because the problem is knight d7 perhaps is my next move no matter what. Because then bishop b2 can't be played, and if they play something like bishop d4, I can even consider bishop f6. And if I get to trade that bishop, I mean, I shouldn't be getting checkmated, in the near future at least. But we'll see, we'll see. This is one of those games where if you don't get checkmated, you may be fine. But if you get checkmated, of course, it's just over. So yeah, one of those games, huh? Yeah. But very interesting, and we got a bird. That's great. I think that after this game, I'm gonna make a little bit of cross courses job or work. I don't know how to say it. But basically, I'm gonna confront the two courses because I have the bird course, so I'm gonna see what Grandmaster Raven recommends. Okay, and here we are. Can I play c3? Probably not. I probably can, but there are crazy lines. Oh, I probably c3 perhaps is playable. The problem is they just move, and I don't see what I earn, what I gain. Well, I can play this, but that's some nasty moves. You know, this may actually be great move, but what happened after this? Eating this guy. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna play knight e7 and see what happens. I could play c5 even after. And the problem is, yes, if they go here, e5 may follow, with the idea that if they take here, I just have this. Yeah, and I may just want to do it. No? So e5, take. I mean, no? I may just want to do it. Okay, there is also other moves. There is indeed c3. Oh wait, there is c3. And depending on where they are going, I want to set up f3, e5. I may want to set up f3, e5 now. Wait, f3? I'm threatening e5. And if they go back, it's a fork? Wait, f3 is a strong move. f6, sorry, is a strong move, no? f6, what if they take? I'm taking with the g-pawn. Check, king h8, rook g8 threatened. And then I play e5. I'm winning material. Oh, I'm winning material, my friend. So f3, what's the problem? Take, check, move. Here, perhaps. Yeah, that's a move. But they have check. They move. And they're almost getting mated here. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna follow my instincts. I'm gonna follow my instincts and see what happens. It feels like all my pieces are in the best places, and it feels like I really want to get e5 in to trap this bishop. If they go here, there is a fork, and yeah, I want to trap this guy. I just want to trap it. I just want to trap it and see what happens. This is crazy. This complicates things tremendously. f6, I don't know. On one side, I feel like this is my instinct, but on the other side, it feels like this is just a blunder. I don't know. I'm going for it. Could be just dead wrong. I could be just dead wrong. Oh, there's always a crazy line somewhere, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, queen g2 doesn't work, think. Because after king h8, I'm threatening rook g8, that's the issue. And e6 is defended. The bishop's not defended, though, which is concerning a little bit. But there are certain crazy lines, man. There are certain crazy lines, dude. Like if the king end up on h1 and my rook is here, this is so dangerous. Okay, they played like this. Can I play e6? Sorry, e5. Maybe not. I'm just gonna play normal chess, I guess. Oh, but the bishop's not hanging no more. Hold up. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Because I'm not sure what's going on here. Not sure what's going on. So take. They take with the queen, I guess. If I take and take, I'm just gonna play king h1, threatening a terrible check. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that like this. They may wanna push now, but then I have this. And their bishop's getting, well, I can reroute here, I guess. They take like this. King h8. King h8. This is a wild position. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna give this check first. The king goes here. Do I have like nasty moves? I take. If they take, I take. So take, they have to take with the king. And then I attack them. I'm gonna go for this. This has to be decently decent, I guess. Maybe I'm just insane, but I'm not sure what's going on here, guys. I'm sorry if I'm not commentating, but I'm just playing moves. And I'm just playing moves, really. Okay, they go here. Now I can take, though. I think. And if they take, there may be this. Maybe. I'm not even sure what's going on here, but... yeah, not sure what's happening here. Not sure what shenanigans going on in this world. Not sure what's going on here, my friends. Not sure at all. There's also this massive weakness that I have on the diagonal, but my pieces are decently positioned, believe it or not. But yeah, I have no clue what's going on. This king is actually misplaced. There are lines. Yeah, there are always lines, are there? But I think I want to play bishop b4 if allowed. Rook a4 is a move. But after knight b6, oh, they play it like that. Okay. Okay, then. Okay, then. Can I play rook b8? I think I want to play rook b8. I think I want to play rook b8, but this could be just a blunder. But I want to play rook b8. Knight here, I don't think it's possible because I just win a rook. And if take knight here, I always have the same type of ideas, sort of, kind of. And now I kind of want to go here. I hope my opponent comes back because I don't want to win like this. I'm happy for the rating, but I'm not happy for the chess. And I'm kind of trying to play chess here. So, but this gives me some time to think. The problem is, guys, I'm sorry, but maybe I'm tired. I can't think. I'm just playing moves, hoping that they are not blunders. And that's pretty much it. Pretty much it. Rook g to b8. Come on, buddy, come back. This is a crazy game. Well, I'll take it. Guys, I'm sorry, but I'll take it. I'll take the points. I'll take the points. And we win this one too. And now we are at 2283, which is personal best. And we just defeat the new strongest. Let me check. 2283, new personal best. And look at this. Today we defeated... Dude, today, 3 games, we defeated the 3 strongest players that I've ever played against. We defeated a 2290, which blundered. A 2346, which I actually played against and defeated him. That was a nice game. And a 2381, which just left the game. Which is a little bit unfortunate. 2283, we are approaching 2300. This is going to be the last game. I'm not going to play again. So we're just going to make the analysis here, and that's it. But this is not the game. Wait a second. Sorry, guys, but what's going on? 45 games. Okay, this game here. I don't know what was happening in this position. I have no idea. You know, if your opponent gives you the free game, you take the free game because it doesn't happen too often. And yes, it feels like my opponent was doing kind of okay. Yeah, the bird is tough to crack. So this is all kind of okay. As you can see, this is like, if you look at the engine, I was playing fine. The problem is here it starts to get a little bit tricky, and here I should have played bishop takes f6. Yes, just keep it together. You know, but I kind of got a little bit carried away. King h1 would have been best my opponent, and then rook f7 and things gets crazy. But b takes c4, d takes c4. Now, king h8 is fine, and here rook g8 is not the best. Queen takes f3 would have been better, but here I was concerned about rook takes, but maybe there is no need to be concerned about rook takes. Yeah, probably. Okay, rook g8 check, king f2, queen takes, e5 is fine, and here rook f2 b1, rook g2 b8, and white's better. White's clearly better. Yeah, so... You know, sometimes you are unlucky, sometimes you are lucky. I feel like today I played well, but I also got a little bit lucky. So let me turn off this for a second. Let me go on Chessable. I'm gonna be back in just a moment, guys. And okay. And let me see. Yeah, this is Ganguly. I want to see what he recommends against f5. 1f4, sorry, against 1f4, which is the bird. I'm a bird. Okay. So, lichess. Here we are. This is Ganguly's course. And let's see what he recommends against f4. So f4, already, you know, listen, if you're not ready for Ganguly, Ganguly is different, man. Ganguly is a wild dude. He's different, okay? So you guys should be ready for Ganguly. He's not like the other grandmasters. He's just different. You need to understand the man is different. Okay, so you should be able to see everything. So once again, I'm just giving an advertisement for the course, so let's go. So f4 already says like question mark, you know, dubious move, no more equality with this smiley face. you have to expect it. Like a bunch of red circles. It's just that's Ganguly. Knight f6, our signature response setup to most of the lines in this course. Knight c3. We could get this position from knight c3, knight f6, f4 as well. Okay, but we don't care about that. We want to see. Sorry, but my monitor is saying that if I don't click a button, there's gonna be turn off energy. Okay, so I'm clicking a button. Okay, so we have knight f3 and now c5, a very important move order. And here b3, but that's not what we faced. We faced e3. So let's try to find it. Okay, e3. White opts for the Stonewall setup with d2, d4, or the classical Dutch with d2, d3, which is what my opponent played, I think. In either case, control and a possible occupation of the e5 square play a major role in White's plans. It now becomes clear why we held back from playing d5. We simply won't play it at all in this scenario. Instead, we will use the move d6 to prevent White from using the e5 square, and so the move here is g6, whereas I play exactly d5. So I went against this repertoire completely, which is my repertoire, so that's great. We are focusing on the kingside development, keeping the d pawn flexible on its diagonals, on its original square. However, I just realized this is not the repertoire that I use for the road to 2500. So wait a second, guys, don't go anywhere. So this is not the repertoire I use for the road to 2500. The repertoire I use for 2500 is... you guys will apologize for a second. I'm almost there. Guys. Okay. This one here. Shankland's repertoire against the sidelines. The Grob, A3, G3, Reti, Wannabe, Reverse Budapest, Orangutan. Yeah, Sam's also different. The Bird. There are 9 lines on the Bird, which is the okay, it's just 9 lines, so I'm gonna study those lines perhaps after this video. So f4, a general piece of opening wisdom anyone should know is that any opening that shares its name with an animal is going to be bad, and the bird is no exception. White is hoping to get some kind of reverse Dutch. While this is more provocative than a move like b3 or a3, I would again caution you not to be too ambitious with black on the first move of the game. White is certainly better in the Dutch normally, but the tempo can mean a lot. The one thing you absolutely need to remember is to fight tooth and nail to make sure White cannot ever get the advance e2, e4 in. Okay, if he can pull that off, the extra space he has gained in the center with f2, f4 may very well pay off. It is important to develop your pieces in a manner that disallows the e2, e4 advance, particularly with respect to the c8 bishop. Okay, so d5, this is as you can see more in Shankland's spirit. Knight to f3 and now knight to f6. e3, and here bishop to f5. Okay, so Shankland, as you can see, has a different approach. He focuses a lot on the e4 square. So basically, in the game that I played, I tried to go to the Ganguly repertoire, but I'm using Shankland's repertoire for the road to 2500, which is not what I'm using for my main repertoire. But okay, so this is what I should have played according to Shankland. As mentioned, this is a very controversial move. Black has placed all of his eggs in one basket, as he really must prevent the e3, e4 advance. If white gets e3, e4 in, it will come with a gain of tempo against the f5 bishop, and white will probably end up with a nice position, but I don't think it will come, and it is very important to know the difference between e3 and g3. So bishop d3, okay, this is rather bizarre, and here let's see. Let's go and look. Sorry guys, I know I'm doing this a lot, but it's important that, you know, all bird activate. Okay, there is this course here, the bird opening. Okay, we're back. Here it is. I know there is Simon Williams on the cover, but it's because he presents the course. Raven is the one behind the moves. Yeah, so I'm gonna go browse 3. This is the bird course. I have it full. I have also the video for this one. The problem is I wanted to play the bird as my main with the white pieces, and I did for a while. It actually pushed me from 1926 to 1950 FIDE. The problem is, you know, Raven came out and he said, yes, I have installed this course with f4, and I was all happy, right? And then the course comes out, and the reason I was happy is because some lines are objectively just slightly minuscularly better for black, but it compensates the fact that you know them better than your opponent, right? And it's true, I had great position against 2000 players, 2100s. The problem is, and you do this because you have less theory to study, right? If you play 1e4, you have to study like thousands of lines, and if you play 1d4, thousands of lines. And Raven comes out, and this course is like 1500 lines. And so what's the point? I'd rather play d4, which is a better move, and is basically almost the same number of lines. So yeah, this was kind of a flop for my needs. Of course, it's a great course objectively, but for me it's not that great. Also, you know, it's a course that was made specifically for low-level club players, and the main moves that they play at like from 1800 FIDE and above, there are like 10 lines that are covering that out of the 1500. It's just ridiculous. So unfortunately I had to drop it. But okay, and now I don't play f4 on move 1. Not as my main move, at least. So yeah, so let's flip it again. And here we go d5 from Shankland. Here they play knight f3. And here knight f6 from Shankland. And here e3. And here bishop to f5. This is Shankland's recommendation. And Raven's recommendation is knight to c3. So now, what I should do, I'm sorry guys, I'm gonna, again, close this. I'm gonna go to the Shankland repertoire. I know you guys can't see nothing, but it's just give me a second, okay? Just give me a second. And I'm gonna go random first moves, and I'm gonna go in the bird chapter until I find not e3 but knight c3. Is there knight c3? Is knight c3 covered at all? This is informational, and this is g3. No, knight c3 is not even covered by Sam. So okay, but I guess e6. Sorry, let me. Okay, so I guess e6. This is the bird opening. Now d3. D3 is covered by Sam though. So let me see if. So let me do this. Let me actually go on browse 3 on the Sam course. So I'm gonna browse 3 on the Sam course, and I'm gonna see what he recommends. Let's go. Okay, so f4, d5, knight f3. Let me flip it because this is Sam repertoire. Knight f6, e3, bishop f5. Boom, 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 boom. And now d3, e6, and now only bishop e2 is covered. Knight c3 is not covered. Knight c3 is not covered. Okay, so now let's go on Lichess. And let's go to analysis board. And let's see what the recommendation would be on Sorry, guys, because I'm just a little bit confused. Okay, now we are back. Okay, so basically we have f4. We have knight f. No, this is Ganguly. Sorry if I'm a little bit confused. We have d5. Yes, we have knight f6. We have knight f3, knight f6. We have e3, bishop f5. Basically reverse London. It doesn't really matter, d3 or something. We will reach this position, and here what to play. This is already out, so this is like a very new position. And this is I'm gonna lag like crazy, but yeah, this is like an unusual position, is it? Yeah, bishop g6 and stuff. Okay, so yeah, the bird is an interesting move. I'm not gonna really study it much more than Shankland shows, and if somebody plays it like more sophisticated, listen, the one time out of 100 games where I face the bird, I may gonna lose it, or like this, my opponent is gonna disconnect. Like there is higher probabilities that your opponent disconnects than they win with the bird. So that kind of, and this comes from somebody that tried the bird, really, like, you know, really tried it. And it's not that, you know, the bird course by Raven is a great course, you know, and if you study in full and you learn like the lines and you go through the whole process, I'm sure it's gonna yield some nice dividends. The problem is, no matter the level, the problem is, again, is 1f4, and you could play 1e4 or 1d4, right? And learn, you know, a bunch of structure and middle game plans and ideas which are like useful across a number of openings. And the number of lines you have to study in the end of the day is basically the same. Because again, Ravens could have done a course of around 400, 500 lines. And in that case would have been massive, because compared to like thousands and thousands of lines by the others. But it's like 1,500 lines. And it's like, okay, if you have so course on 1e4, then maybe it's not that great. But if you have like some other courses of 1d4 or even 1e4, but by other people perhaps, right? You can have, in 1,000 or even 1,500 lines, you can have a full repertoire 1d4 or 1e4, and you play it up until master level, no problems. And in my opinion, since the number of lines is the same, you rather want to play d4 or e4 than 1f4, you know? Because it's like one of the main appeal, you know, selling points of the bird is that you don't have to study that much. But if you do, you know what I'm trying to say. But okay, today was a very lucky day. 2283, new PB. Again, weird day, because one game I just won against a guy that blunder in the opening. Like, the guy was 2290 and he just fall for an opening trap. That's crazy. And the other guy just disconnected in a better position, almost winning, and complicated but objectively better. But I won one game. I defeated the 2345 in the Botvinnik variation of the Moscow system, or whatever it's called, in the Semislav there, and that was a very good game. So we got a good game, and yeah, 2283. We are pushing for the 2300s. Let's go. So thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your chess.